Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. I wanted to get this video started, otherwise I would have just continued to play with my stuff and never record anything. So I just wanted you guys to see what I was working on. I'm actually working on a couple of 6x6 mini journals. They're made out of 6x6 paper. Actually, they're not. They're made out of 6x12 paper. So I just basically took a 12x12 sheet and cut it in half. And let me find one that I'm working with. So here is what it looks like. So this would have been my 12x12 sheet of paper that I just cut in half, and I mixed and matched a few of these. Some of them will be my cover, others will be inner pockets or inner pages of the journal, and this is my creative disaster, if you will. I'm just basically working out what goes with what will I put with what, and yeah, so I wanted to show you guys what I was working on. Here is some of the patterns that the paper comes in. There's also some of this. So like, I'm just trying to find one that would have matched so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not 100% losing it, but yeah, this is just some of what the patterns look like from that 6x12 or 12x12 paper that I cut into 6x6. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and make a couple of these. As you can see, I've already started this one. This paper is from a paper pack called Old Lace, some of it. The rest of it is from like one sheet of 12x12 that I just copied or scanned and then copied or printed out off of my printer from one sheet of 12x12 scrapbooking paper. So all of this came from one sheet of paper, and I just copied it multiple different ways, cut it up in multiple different ways, and made all of this somewhat ephemera to go into my journal. And from the 12x12 paper, okay, I'm probably going to end up with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, probably 4 journals altogether. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right. Okay, so I've cleared up a little bit. Right now I'm working with a couple of sheets of, this is just some doily, paper doily, same here, paper doily. I basically just ran my, this is walnut stain, distress ink, ran that around there a couple of times, and then went over on top of it with my Distress Oxide and Worn lipstick. Alright, so yeah, and then I'm going to go back over it again with some more walnut stain, just to tone down the hues of the pink a little bit. But the pink had to go in there because this is a girly journal, and I'll probably do this in about 4 parts, seeing that I have 4 journals and there's a lot to do in each one, and I don't want this to be a 4-hour video. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this all inked up and then figure out where in the journal it's going to go. And then I have to get some journaling pages or signatures to go into here. So alright, here is the cover of the first one. I basically just took, again, my 6x6 sheet, folded in my 6x12 sheet, sorry, folded it in half, or scored it at 6, and then I just added some decorative elements on top. So this is just some twine that I braided. So I took 3 strings of twine, braided it into this little braided rope right here, as well as added some lace from the front cover all the way around to the back cover, so it looks like this. And then with some glassine paper, I just covered the front and then added some decorative washi, which is this right here, my little handwriting or script writing washi. Okay, so I just added some of that on the cover, and that's pretty much it. Okay, this is all handmade stuff. It's not like anything from the actual kit. I just decorated this myself. All right, so here is my Here is my doily. As you can see, it's white on one side and I inked the other side. I'm probably going to use this somewhere here in the middle of the cover, just as a decorative element, okay? And then I took another sheet of the 6x12, cut it or scored it in half, and then I scored it right here on the edge. Here, I'll tell you what measurement I used. I don't even think I used an actual measurement on this one. It looks like just about 4. So it's a 2-inch score mark right here from the edge, okay? And I just folded it in and made this little pocket right here. Okay. So this will go into the book as a pocketed insert, and let me just burnish down my sides, and I'll pop a little thumb notch in it right about there. Ink that. Okay, so now we have this little pocket right here, and my doily will more than likely be glued down to the inside cover of the journal. So I'm just going to use some of my glue stick here and just glue down the doily right here in the middle of the inside cover, just as centered as possible. Not perfect, but close. Well, pretty perfect. I mean, that is pretty close to being centered. That's what I'm trying to avoid, is ripping it. Okay, let's move it over just to here. Okay, good enough for me. Alright, I'm just going to get a little bit of glue underneath the edges. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to let this dry because, as you can see, the doily has some holes in it, like, you know, patterned spaces in there. So the glue is coming through on some of it. So I'm just going to let this dry on its own for a moment or two. Okay. And let's work on this insert here. So again, this is the inside pocketed area that I'm working on. I'm going to do a double pocket. So this right here may more than likely be somewhere in the middle. I may still have signature pages on the inside of this as well, but I want to create a pocket. So I have this outside pocket. I'm just going to use some art glitter glue and glue this section down right here. And after I cut my papers into those 6x12 strips, I did round all of the corners. Okay, so all of my corners are rounded, which kind of gives it a softer feel, softer image to it. All right, so there's that. Inside here, I want to add a pocket. So this is just some of that scrapbooking paper that I copied onto cardstock, and because it was paper, it wasn't like cardstock. So I copied it onto cardstock or scanned it into my printer and then printed it out. So it's just a piece of cardstock that I've just cut into a pocket. And I'm going to glue this down on this page right here. Okay, so that's just a little bit of art glitter that I glued on 3 sides of this pocket. So this page has this pretty lace design right here in the center, so I'm just going to fit my pocket directly underneath that lace just to frame it out a little bit. Okay. Alright, so now we have that and that, and this is our cover and our inside of that cover, and this is our one of our pages that's going to go in here. We will be stitching these pages into the journal, so it will look something like so. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and get some signature paper to go in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found some papers for my signatures. I just wanted to show you guys the actual page. This is a 12 by 12 sheet of scrapbook paper, double-sided, that I picked up either at Hobby Lobby, Joann's, or Michael's. Yeah, so this is the page that I acquired all of this stuff from. So this is all of my, the majority of my ephemera, like this stuff. This is from the paper pack, and let's see. Yeah, anyway, so this stuff right here, I copied it onto regular cardstock and then cut it up into various pieces, and this is the back side of it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and stitch in our signatures. I'm going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is the standard for me anyway. So this is the pages that I've selected here, and also in here is my pocketed page, this one that we just created. Alright, it has a pocket there and a pocket here. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab some floss, some stitching floss. What is this? Wax thread, and my awl, and some needles. I'm going to use, let's see, I'll probably use this pretty yellowish color here to stitch in the signature. So again, the rule of thumb is 3 times the height of the signature plus a little bit. So if you want to dangle or to tie it in a bow, either at the top or bottom. So I'm just going to do that. I think my doily should be dry by now. So here is the cover, front and back, with my doily adhered to it. And I'm just going to place that right in the middle there. Grab my ruler, find the center, and make sure that my pages are flat. So this book right here has one very large signature, I believe. Let me just make sure. Yeah, one very large signature, and I will do a flip through of all the pages with you afterwards. But yeah, sometimes I forget if I split the pages up or if I'm going with one signature. So yeah, and I'm going to thread my large eye needle with this waxed thread in the hue of probably like straw, I believe, or wheat. Let me find one with a bigger eye. That would help. Maybe not. Maybe I need 2 hands for this. The problem with wax thread is that if you don't have all the ends together, getting it into the hole, it's a little bit difficult. It starts to fray in various directions. So, I think I got it. There we go. Okay. So, there's that. And There's only really one page that I'm concerned with being even, and that would be this page right here, the one that we created the pockets with. So I want that page to be as even as possible and secured in the center of the book. And I'm just gonna use my binder clips, these little giant paper clips here, just to hold the signature in place on one side. And I'm gonna estimate my center. So I know that this right here is not center, so I'm gonna have to move it down just a little bit. So right about here is my center, and I'm going about this all wrong, aren't I? Here's my little foamy thing to make sure I don't puncture my hand or my desk. Okay, so there's my first hole, somewhat centered, and I'm just gonna go in about maybe 3/4 of an inch from the bottom and about 3/4 of an inch from the top, maybe an inch. Okay, I'm just making those holes wide enough to receive my thread. So I'm in the needle mostly because the needle's thicker. I'm just going to go in through the middle, clip this end onto this paper clip so I don't lose it, go through the bottom. Ow! That hurt. And then pull it taut but not tearing and go through the top and then come back through the middle again. And the only thing you want to make sure that you have at the end of all of this is that your right and left hand threads are one on each side of this little bridge right here. See this? Okay. So I'm just going to pull this a little to even up the threads. One on each side of this little bridge. Nice and even, tight, I mean, you know, taut but not tearing. Okay. And let's just flip through really quickly, make sure that all of our pages are right side up if it mattered in any case before we tie this one off. And yeah, I think all my pages are facing the right direction. And I'm just going to tie this in a little double lock knot and then a bow. Or a square knot, some people call it a square knot. And a little bow right there. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, here, I'll show you what the final product looks like. I obviously did not have a prototype to begin with, so this is now my prototype for the other 3 books that I'm going to do. So we can always add more embellishments and decorations here on the front page, right? So let me find my little embellishments. Isn't that cute? Right, little corsets. That's super cute. And here I'll just show you what I've done on one of the other books. Again, this is a embossed dress that I die cut and then embossed it here on the outside of this one. So there's a little pocket that's going to go there, and this one actually has a double pocket. So I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with this type of paper or this type of project. I'm calling this project actually, I'm gonna call it Pearl and Lace and Elegant Grace. So this is possibly a front cover decoration right there. Okay, and then here we go inside. I'm going to possibly add a pocket right here. So now we have that. Of course, my pretty doily over here, and then signature pages for journaling. Here's a pocket, so I'll just use this. There's a pocket right here. Okay, journaling. There's a cute little page that has like someone else's journal on there, but on the back side it's white, so you can add your own journaling. You know, more blank sheets. Here's some coffee dyed paper. Actually, all of this is, majority of this is coffee dyed paper, or tea dyed, tea stained. Alright, and here's the center page, which happens to be one of those pages from the Sears and Roebuck's 1897, I believe it's the year, the Sears and Roebuck catalog that I coffee dyed. Okay, and there's plenty more journaling space, some coffee dyed paper, that little somebody else's diary page, and then the last page with a pocket on the back here, okay, that we glued down, which I basically just lined up centrally with this pretty design that's on the back here. So yeah, with that I can then add, this is just a journaling card. See, I just added some elements onto there. You can tuck that in back there. These are just, again, some more journaling cards, tags, and tickets. What is that? Oh, okay. Here's a little ticket that, or a couple of tickets that I made from that paper that I showed you. I just basically cut it up to fit. That won't fit that way, but it will fit this way. Alright, and yeah, I can just glue this pocket down right here. Let's see, what am I going to put on the back? I'll probably put another little pocket back here. Even something this way, like that. So the possibilities are endless, is my point. I believe that's my point. You guys can spend all day playing with 6x6 or 6x12, and then just cutting it up to suit however you want it to fit, and decorate it from there. Alright, so let me just show you some of the other ones that I have prepped. And again, this one is now my prototype, so I'll try to follow this one as much as I can to make the others. So again, here's this one. Right, with some pretty lacy paper on the inside. Here is this one. Again, 2 sheets of 6x12 that I rounded the corners on, added some lace. This one I added this little pearly border up here at the top. And the last one is this one. And I'm currently missing the second page for this one, but it's somewhere on my desk. I will find that later. But yeah, I just basically added this border that I made. Here is the border that I actually made. Okay, this is some lace glued onto some cards, craft paper, lace, ribbon or twine, and some pearls glued onto some craft paper, and I just took it to my printer, ran it through, printed it out, and then this is what it'll look like on, you know, on printed paper. Here's another one. Okay, this is what it looks like when you print it. Let's see, where is my other original? Here's another one. These are 1-inch strips of craft paper. This is a 2-inch strip of craft paper, so you see, like, you can really go to town on the layering or the levels of beading and decorations that you can put onto the craft paper. And then I'll just take this whole thing, run it to my printer or scanner, and then just print out a copy of it, and it will look like this. Okay, so yep, here's my original on craft paper, here's my original on craft paper, and then once I print it out, it looks like something like that. And I just added it to the top of this. Pretty simple, right guys? So here, these are my 4 that will eventually become one just like this one. It's not too chunky. I mean, this itself is a junk journal. It's like a little mini junk journal. Alright guys, I am going to leave you guys right over here. Alright, so I hope you guys have a crafty day. Stay naturally curious, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.